The other week I sat down to make a video, and the video was going to be like a bit of an update, and I could just explain to you all the stuff that's been going on in my life and stuff like that. And while I was doing that, I was making my little YouTube play button, which I got through the post. It's a self-make thing, and it's all little parts of Lego. Don't know if it's focusing on that, is it? There you go. Yeah. So I was making that. I've also had my YouTube hat. So high five, YouTube. Thank you very much. And so as I was making my play button, the battery went in my camera. And then things just went a little bit crazy in my life. So, roll the titles. This is going to be one of them. I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, right, how do I edit this video? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in the footage that I was going to be talking over, and you'll get to see me making the play button. But where do I even begin? So the last video that I did was explaining about Brad, and how Brad wasn't well. He had cancer, and things were just kind of going from bad to worse for him, which they did, and he was eventually put to sleep. And I kept a little bit out of that story, that so Brad got put to sleep on the Saturday, I think it was like only the week before I actually posted that video. I can't remember the date off the top of my head. But Brad was put to sleep on the Saturday. The Wednesday, that same week, but a few days before, on the Wednesday, we had all been up at my mum's, doing Brad's paw prints and, you know, stuff like that, and then came home to mine probably about 10 o'clock-ish, something like that, and Brad had got on the bed, and Trey was doing his little thing of like pottering around the flat, and then he would normally just come and get on the bed, or, you know, find a place to sleep in his little den or whatever. And I was sat on the bed, and I was just typing away on my phone, and I heard Trey running in the kitchen. And I thought, well, fucking hell, he doesn't normally run that fast. Wait a minute. If he was running that fast, he would be here by now. Something's not right. So I shot up, went through into the kitchen. At first, I thought, shit, he's choking on something. So of course, you know, checking his airways, patting his back, patting the back of his throat, feeling his throat and everything, and I'm like, I can't feel anything. His airways are open. And I just looked at him and I was like, he's breathing. Yeah, it's not right. He's panting a lot and he's got loads of slobber. I don't know what this is. Oh shit, what do I do? So he seemed to come back round, and I brought him through into the bedroom and I rang my mum. And my mum answered the phone, and obviously she was emotional, you know, because we've just been doing the paw prints with Brad. It was a sad evening, basically. And she was like, hi. I was like, oh my God, Mum. And she went, oh no, what's happened with Brad? And I went, Mum, it's Trey. And my mum has said to me since, and she just went, my heart just went boom, straight down. Cutting a long story short on that, Trey had had his first ever seizure. And so me, being me, tried to get him in at a charity in the UK called PDSA. And basically, if you're a lower income household and you fall within the capture area, you can go and see a vet for free. And I rang through and I said, you know, can you please see Trey? You know, he had a seizure. I think actually by the time that I was able to ring them in the morning, he was having or had just had his second seizure. And they said, yeah, he's an emergency case, so we will see him. The vet will ring you within 24 to 48 hours. And I'm thinking, you just said he was an emergency, but you're going to wait for like 24 to 40, what? And yeah, they didn't see Brad. They didn't see Trey within 24 to 48 hours. They actually rang a week later, and that was only the vet doing a consultation over the phone. So, majorly not impressed with them. I know they're a charity, and I know they're busy, but do you know what I mean? A week for an emergency? You know? Anyway, we went to Trey's regular vets with Mummy's credit card because I had no other choice. And yeah, because of his age, being about 15 years old, Trey was diagnosed with having a brain tumour. And, you know, with a dog of that age, the risks involved with doing brain surgery, basically, are kind of great. Like, they're not little things of like, oh, you know, 10% chance he might not make it off the operating table. This is like over 50% chance he wouldn't come around from the operation. So instantly, no. So we got him on anti-seizure medication, and the vet said, okay, and I asked, you know, we'll do this, do that, and we'll see you back in 2 weeks. So I was like, that's fine. And he was fine for a week and a half. Then the seizures came back, so we went back to the vets, and they said, okay, not to worry. We are going to up his meds. We'll up the anti-seizure. See you again in 2 weeks. And again, week and a half, he was absolutely fine. Started on the seizures again. So next time we went in, they were like, yep, we're going to up it again. And we're going to swap his medication. So as long as you're happy, we'll see him in a month. So I was like, okay. I think we got to 3 weeks and I had to call them because we needed to come back in. Trey was starting with the seizures again, and he wasn't right in himself. So we saw the vet, and it was a female vet that we saw that time, and she put him on the maximum dose of anti-seizure medication. And I knew that there was a pattern then with his seizures, and I knew that it wasn't going to be long before I had to make that call. And it was about, I think it was just short of 2 weeks, because it wasn't, that's a lie, it was just short of a month. Oh, was it? Oh shit, I can't remember now. I'll have to have a look through my calendar, but anyway, we had booked in his next appointment to like see how he was doing on the meds and all that. And I had to call them because Trey had started having the seizures again. Which, do you know what? Let me just show you. This is what it was like when Trey was having a seizure. This first one, I'd actually woken up to. He was just lay next to me. He was doing absolutely fine. And then, yeah, I just woke up and that's what he was like. Right. This one is what actually turned out to be Trey's last seizure. And you can see he's having problems breathing at this point. You know, he's still having the main symptoms of a seizure, and yeah. There is a lot of videos on YouTube that you can watch of dogs having seizures, and Trey at first was very typical with his seizures, and then towards the end his seizures they were getting worse, like having the breathing problems and stuff like that. So I had to make the call to the vets, and I just said, look, I need your next available appointment, like a long appointment, because I think this is going to be like the final appointment, basically. And the receptionist said, okay, that's fine, I'll put it in as a normal appointment, but that it might be a long one. So just like, right, okay. And I didn't know until I got off the phone that Trey was booked in for his appointment on the 31st of October. And on the 31st of October, 10 years ago, is when I got Trey. So he was with me for a perfect 10 years. And we went in, and the vet said, well, you know, there's different medications that we can try, but that's mainly treating it for epilepsy. And then I showed her that second video of what was eventually, it was Trey's last seizure, and I showed her the video and she went, oh my god, you shouldn't look at it, he's struggling to breathe. And yeah, I think you've made the right choice. And it doesn't get, like, it doesn't instantly, it doesn't get easier. You know, you do so much for your pets. Every responsible pet owner does, right? And you just eventually just have to say, I want them to stay alive. And I wish there was a miracle medication that I could have just given him and he'd have been absolutely fine, but there isn't. And it's likely within my lifetime there never will be. So, me and my mum were in there for when Trey actually went. And like I said, it's only been a week that I'm recording this. I don't know when I'm going to edit it. And yeah, it hurts. And it hurts because it's within a couple of months I've lost 2 dogs. 2 of my best friends. And they've seen me through so much. But Trey is even longer, 10 years. I can't believe it. And I'm not, as at the time of recording this, I'm not adapting to it. It's like I don't admit that it's happened. But I know I did the same with Brad. And it was, with Brad, it was like 10 days after he'd passed. And I got the phone call from Sonny, and he just said the vets have rang and Brad's back. So we went and picked Brad up. Well, I did. And Brad's still home with me at the minute. But that, like, those 10 days in between, because for Brad we had a solo cremation thing done, or an individual cremation, and I've selected the same thing with Trey, but those 10 days I was sort of numb to it all, until I got that phone call. Because the way I've been wording it is that, it's like someone has written the sentence, but getting the ashes, that's the full stop to the sentence. And with Brad, that's when it hit me that it's over, sort of thing. And I know it's going to happen with Trey. So, yeah, I do have, sort of anticipation of that coming, that realisation that it's over. So I know it's going to be hard, but I'm in support groups. I've got people around me, so I am going to be okay. But yeah, it just hurts. It just really fucking hurts. So, yeah, like I did with Brad, I'm gonna have to do a montage of Trey, aren't I? So, yeah, thank you for watching.
The lads' day is off to a grand start. We're in a field in Billings up the hill. Everyone off the lead and everyone just going mad. Parker has had a wee, he's had a poo, so he's been really good. Here he is. And I think he's just enjoying being out and playing with his mates. Ain't you, Parker? So, yeah, good call coming here, methinks. Yes. Parker's coming. Where is he? Where is he?